Hi, today I'm doing something a little different, and it's a topic near and dear to my heart. I have always loved the Elder Scrolls games. I haven't played all of them, but I do enjoy Oblivion so much. It's one of my favorite games. And when Skyrim came out, I was really excited about a new addition to the Elder Scrolls series. But sadly, I was disappointed. And today I wanted to talk about why I think Skyrim sucks, especially compared to Oblivion, mostly compared to Oblivion. And I'm gonna talk about some things that I think Oblivion did better than Skyrim. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Skyrim had some improvements. Let's say, the lock picking. The lock picking is awful in Oblivion. I think anyone that's played both of them can agree that the lockpicking is very, very frustrating in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Skyrim made it a lot easier. The leveling system, I don't think it's a negative on Oblivion's part. They just made it more mainstream and easier for the average gamer in Skyrim. I still think the leveling system is fun and enjoyable in Oblivion. It's just a lot easier to grasp if you've never really played an RPG in Skyrim, which, again, that's not a negative on Oblivion or Skyrim's part. I think the combat is more fluid in Skyrim. Here are the things that I think it did worse. So, I actually do not like the graphics in Skyrim. I think they made the elves look like bugs. I just don't really enjoy like the graininess of it all. And I think the smoothness of Oblivion is just prettier to me. To be honest, I really just don't like the setting either. I feel like we went from these beautiful, crafted, like huge cities in Cyrodiil, and then we go to Skyrim, and I get it, it's supposed to be like Nordic, and there's snow, and there are still beautiful cities there, but I just feel like the smaller, lesser known like towns and cities are a lot more, they're more interesting and they're more fun to explore in Oblivion. I think the Daedric quests are a lot more interesting. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the Skyrim DLCs. I think they're good, but compared to the Oblivion DLCs, it's just like there is no comparison. Like you get to go to the Shivering Isles. It's fantastic. It's one of like the best DLCs. And then I did enjoy being able to build a house in Skyrim that was fun, but it's really nothing. It's like, and here's my biggest gripe about Skyrim compared to Oblivion. In Oblivion, when you do your factions quests, you have the Mages Guild, you have the Fighters Guild, and you have the Thieves Guild, and you have the Dark Brotherhood. So you still technically have those things in Skyrim. They're just renamed to the College of Winterhold. There's still the Dark Brotherhood. There is still the Thieves Guild, and then you have the companions that are in Whiterun, which I'm not gonna say they're terrible. I just think that the quest lines for them are boring. Like, okay, let's talk about the Thieves Guild. So in Skyrim, the Thieves Guild, they live in a sewer. No one cares about them. They're not feared. No one. And the whole like storyline is, wow, we have to get the Thieves Guild back up. And then one of the people running it ends up betraying you, and that's the whole thing. Like, it's reduced to nothing. It's pathetic in Skyrim. But in Oblivion, like, they have this whole network. We have the Gray Fox. Like, it's so much more impressive and more fun. And at the end of it, like, spoiler if you've never played Oblivion, it's old, so whatever. You get to steal an Elder Scrolls? Are you kidding me? But in Skyrim, you're like, hey, bro, don't steal that giant eye. That crystal diamond eye. Don't betray us. Like, that's so boring. It's not fun. I just don't like it. Like, I mean, I don't think it's the worst. I just think compared to Oblivion, like, that storyline is just so stupid and boring. And then we have the Dark Brotherhood. I I love the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion. I thought it was so cool and awesome. They have just so many, like, the locations are cool. The people that inhabit them are cool. I still like the people that inhabit the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. It's just that, again, it's reduced to nothing. No one cares about them. They're pathetic. You get betrayed. Like, it's nothing epic. There's nothing epic about being in the Thieves Guild or being in the Dark Brotherhood like there is in Oblivion. Like, there's some crazy stuff that goes on in Oblivion's Dark Brotherhood. Or, like, the Mages Guild. Again, you get to fight Manny Marco, like the necromancer, like this big bad necromancer that's been talked about, the King of Worms, for like ever in Oblivion. And you have to like fight your zombified members and stuff, and it's just like insane. And then in Skyrim, it's, oh, stop the elf from betraying us. If you even want to call it a Major Guild, I know that it was dissolved, so now it's the College of Winterhold, but it's still relatable to the Mages Guild. And I just think that's not really fun. Now, the Companions is cool. I would say that I will give them that. I think the Companions are a little bit more interesting than the Fighters Guild in Oblivion, because you do get to be a werewolf. I think that is pretty cool. That's really all they have going for them for the factions. And then the storyline, like, oh, we have to fight this dragon. And I'm not going to say, like, the ending for Oblivion's, like, big fight, you don't even actually get to participate in it. So I'm not going to say that, oh, the ending was much better. But it's like, I feel like, you know, stopping the Oblivion Gates, going into the Oblivion Gates, and, like, fighting the Daedra and all this other stuff, I thought was a lot more interesting. And then there's dragons, you have to fight them, and you absorb their souls. I don't know, I just feel like the storyline as well isn't as on a grand scale. I felt like in Oblivion, it felt like the end of the world. Like, you had to be the hero. You had to save the world. And in Skyrim, it's like, Fusroda! Like, I don't know, it just didn't feel, like, important. It didn't feel interesting to me. And even just, like, a lot of the side quests are just boring. I feel like the locations are really boring. I don't know. I've played Skyrim. I've gotten all the achievements on the 360 version and on the Xbox One version. Like, I've played the game. And I just think Oblivion is, I just think they do it better. I also just love the scenery, and I think the music is also better in Oblivion. I, again, I personally, again, they did make the leveling up system more, like, easier and simpler to understand. But I like the leveling up system in Oblivion because it makes it go, I need to be careful with what I level up. I can't just level up whatever because I have to put my points into, like, intelligence and stuff. It made you really think about what you should be working on for each level. And I get it. I'm glad for Bethesda and their success in Skyrim. I hope that the new Elder Scrolls is better. I just don't really like Skyrim. And then another thing about Skyrim that I really don't like is I didn't like the fan base when it first came out because everyone was like, oh, Bethesda made this other game. It's made by the people that made Skyrim, and they made everything that Bethesda ever did comparable to Skyrim. And they do, every fan base does this anytime a game comes out and it's popular. Oh, well, they're just copying insert whatever game when another game in the same genre comes out. Like when Skyrim came out and then other RPGs came out, everyone was like, it wants to be Skyrim so bad. And I'm not saying that that's just a special trait for the Skyrim fandom. It's just that living through that is like so annoying. And especially when Elder Scrolls Online came out, the amount of people that were like, it's Skyrim Online, and I was like, oh my god, I want to rip my hair out. Like, it's not Skyrim Online. The amount of people that were like, when is Skyrim 2 gonna come out? And it's just like, I don't think Skyrim 2 is gonna be a thing. Like, first off, what would you even do? You've already done everything in Skyrim 1. And second off, it's the 5th game in a series. I don't think they would pull a Final Fantasy where it's like Final Fantasy 13 2. Hopefully not. Maybe. I mean, they've done so many remakes. Get their bag, I guess. But it was just so frustrating. Everything that Bethesda published or made afterwards was, oh, yeah, this game that came out was from the creators of Skyrim. And it's like, I get it. It's like one of their most like popular games. So of course people are going to recognize it for that. But it's so annoying because it's like, okay, they've made games that were popular and good way before Skyrim. Like, they're the creators of a lot of other things. It's not just Skyrim. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky with that one. But there's just, I love Oblivion. I wish it would be remastered. I wish that it would get as many versions as Skyrim. I think it deserves a remaster. And don't get me wrong, I think Skyrim's an okay game. I think it's a fine RPG. It's just as an Elder Scrolls game, I don't really like it. I think Oblivion did it better. And that's really just me ranting about why I just really love Oblivion, and I think Skyrim in comparison just wasn't it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. If you have any suggestions for anything else, comment below, and I will see you next time.